Hello everybody, I just wanted to say a quick hello and introduce, it's not two red robins, it's just in case, and these dies are just in case you want to make a mermaid card, just in case you need to make a card for a little girl that actually wants some beautiful mermaids. So I've got to say a huge thank you to the lovely Jane Witherspoon because she prepped these demos and the cards were her original design, so don't want to take the credit for them, but I'm going to talk you through how you would make them. We'll see how many we can get done in the time. So first of all, this is the mermaid collection. Now in the mermaids you get the little mermaids themselves and then you get the foliage that goes with them, so the greenery in the sea. What Jane has done is she's put a little bit of glitter pen on the mermaids. She's also decoupaged parts of them, and then when she's cut the coral or the seaweed out, you can either colour it a little yourself or cut it out from a coloured card, and this one's got a lovely pattern on it, so it's all very, very complimentary. Of course, because it's little girls, it lends itself perfectly to doing something like this with glitter card. And then we've also got a little number 6 to go on here for a 6th birthday. Now, what Jane's done is she's put the design slightly to the left of the front of the card. Gives us this area here that's great for us to be able to put the sentiment on, or the age, and that could be a 6, or in fact it could be a number 9, couldn't it? But it also means that we can use this as a shaker card. We could put a mermaid behind the acetate, so let's just do that and let you see what that would look like. So if we line up the glitter inside, we could put our mermaid here, our acetate over the top, and then she could be inside. We could sit another little mermaid on the side of the card and have another little one as if she's going to swim round. So you've got lots of opportunity to be able to change the composition. But what's important about this card is the way that we finish off the inside, because of course we can stick our circle on, and in fact I'm going to do that now. So we've got a piece of card that's been embossed as the main body of the card, and then this circle cut using our foundation dies, our fundamentals, to get that perfect finish that you get when you're doing that. So it just frames the design, looks fabulous. But the one thing about doing cards like this that is really important is getting the inside neat. And to do that, you're going to need a back plate. So we've got some tape around our aperture, and that's where our piece of acetate is going to go. Now, you could then, if you chose, put the glitter card directly on top there and leave the back of this completely white. That's one option. Or the other option, which is the one that I would favour, would be to put your acetate there and then cover this piece, let's just get that right, with another piece of card where everything lines up perfectly. Then our glitter card can go inside. This isn't the only way you can make this card up, but it's certainly one of the ways, and I think it gives you a good result. So I'm just going to put that to one side, check that that is all sticking down, which it is. Let's put the piece of glitter card inside. It's a nice chunky glitter. And if you were going to do this as a shaker card, you'd need 2 pieces of acetate, and any little shaker pieces, so any of those loose confetti pieces, would go between the 2 pieces. So that's one of the things that we need to do. Also, don't forget, if you're doing a shaker, the whole of the outside of the 2 pieces of acetate needs sealing. Otherwise, whatever you put in there is going to spill out and it'll just sprinkle out. So I'm going to peel off the back of the red liner tape, which Jane has also kindly put on for us. And that just makes it's a really nice strong tape, and it's brilliant for acetate. So this would always be my tape of choice for a project like this. And just lift that off, and let's take that last piece. And red liner tape can be quite static, but do you know if you put it onto a piece of kitchen roll, it stays. It's just a really clever little trick. So pop that onto a piece of kitchen roll and it'll never lose its place. Now I've got a little bit of glue on here, so I'm just going to, excuse me doing this, this is one of my crafty t-shirts and cardies. I'm just going to wipe that off and we'll place that over the top like that. And then I've got this panel which is ready to go over the top again. Now I'm just going to use some wet adhesive round the outside edge. I know this will be sufficient for it to catch, and then round the edge of the circle, not too close because I don't want the glue to push out, and then that will go just there. But because it's wet glue, I can just line it up and make sure it's absolutely perfect. Well, of course, Jane's cutting would be. It's just me that might not be. So there's our design. And I'm just going to, slide that over the tiniest little bit. And what I'm doing is making sure that it's all really lined up well here. Now, let's look at where our little mermaids are going. Well, I think she looks fabulous just sitting on the edge of the ring. So that's one design. Here's another one just there, and our third one I think would go up here. So there's our three little mermaids. So when we come to stick these on, I'm just going to use the smallest amount of adhesive, just a couple of little circles, and on the top of her hair there, that's that one. This one, again, just a few little circles, and let's get her in position. And then our third one, she needs plenty of glue on here. Let's hold her just there. The foliage that I've got, I'm just going to take that and put a little bit on here. Let's let that go just there. Got another piece that's going to go and just finish off this design here. So you can go over her tail so she looks like she's coming through there. To balance it so that it doesn't look like it's floating, I'm going to bring a piece right down to the bottom, just there. I've got another piece that's going to go along here. So we're grounding it with the bottom of our card. So that's our little anchor. And finally, one more piece. It's going to go right over here to bring in that corner. And then our number 6. And as this is for a beautiful little 6-year-old princess who at weekends is a mermaid, I'm going to take that and place it up the top. But how pretty is that for a little girl? Just in case you ever need to make a mermaid card. So let's make one more. Let's do one for the boys. So I'm going to pop that one to one side. And this one I'm going to do is for the young children. So it's a jungle. And again, you know, a huge thank you to Jane for doing this for us. She's cut out all the extra pieces, made some beautiful samples, and this is an extra little bit for us. So let's take a look at what we've got. So first of all, you've got the main card blank. This can open as a tent fold or a side fold. Let's go with tent fold because I think that would look good. Then we've got some black textured cards, textured using an embossing folder. So I am just going to put a very small amount of this glue. Now I'm using Pinflair's bookbinding glue, and you can see I am literally putting little tiny bits of it. I'm not doing this because that can, with some cards, make it wrinkle, and I don't want that to happen. This panel is going to go straight on top, and Jane has just very gently inked the edges with a nice lime green to make the edge of that card pop. I've then got a panel of white that's going to go over the top of that, and again we've just got this glow that's around the edges. And look how flat that's gone on, because we've literally just squeezed it, and it's almost like the glue is juddering when it goes on because it's not filling in, it's not a perfect line, it's lots of tiny, tiny little dots just by not squeezing too hard with the bottle. That's going to go down, and then now let that go completely flat. Sometimes when I'm working, a little tip for you, I'll lift up my cutting mat and pop that underneath, work on top of it for a while the glue dries, and you get and it gives it a perfect bond. But as we're doing this live, we're going to keep going. The next part of it, I actually want to put some foam. So I'm going to go quite high with this, and I'm putting some foam pads on. So my black is going to lift right off the card, and this is where we're going to get some depth with the design. So you'd think that that would be sufficient, but because the card's lightweight, I'm going to put another panel in the middle. Now this one is going to act and support it, so you don't have to take the back off it if you're in a hurry, but I'm going to just for the purpose of this demonstration and because I want that extra support. But you can imagine without having that height at the side, without that one in the middle, it would actually compress. Then I've got my circle, but before I put the circle on, I want to experiment with where I'm going to put all my little animals. And look at this, I've got this piece of bamboo. And the reason that I wanted the height was I actually wanted the bamboo to be able to go across the edges. So I'm going to think about where that's going to go. I'm just going to have it there and have our little monkey, perhaps even putting his hand behind it. And then I've got my little elephant as well. And then we've got all of this foliage, and this foliage is just going to fit around the outside of the design. So monkey's going to go on first because he is going to be hanging onto the bamboo. And I'm just going to pull this in. Let's get that panel lined up in the centre. Wet glue also gives you a few moments to be able to move things around. Pop the bamboo on, so we're going to make sure it stays within the footprint of the actual card itself. So that's making sure it doesn't come over these edges. So there we go. The monkey, remember we want to tuck him under, so before that glue dries, I'm just going to press him down. I'm now thinking about where my elephant goes and my panda. So I think because of where I've put him, let's have a little look at whether we could put our elephant there and our panda there, or whether we take our panda there and our elephant here. I think I'm going to put my elephant on this side, and I'm going to make it so that his ear is just tucked behind, and he's coming over the edge of the card. And let's let our monkey just swing slightly to the side. Looks like he's going to, there, he's almost sort of landing on him. Put a little bit more glue there, and then this is the bit that's the best bit. So it's going to take you a moment or two to get all of this foliage on, but it is absolutely worth it. So you can put it together in little groups. That's one way of doing it. We could have it in, as a semicircle around the design, so almost make it like a wreath. But I like the idea of having the foliage in little bunches. So what I'm going to do is put some little circles of adhesive, so as if it's just coming off the edges here. So I've made myself a few, so let's put some bamboo there. And remember, my glue is going to dry clear, so that's a good little trick. Don't go overboard with the grasses, but certainly that would work. And then we're just going to put these little pieces in the bottom corner, and then I'm going to start to finish off the design. So just adding in these little bits of foliage. So we've got, some greenery in the jungle, and I'm putting it in as if it's sort of the bamboos growing up. The foliage is coming down. Just drop that piece, let's pop you there. And you just keep going with this. Keep adding in foliage until you feel that it's sufficiently full and you're happy with the results. And, it's going to grow in lots of different directions because the sunlight's peeping through the canopy in the jungle. Listen to me getting all exotic. And then I'm just going to get this bamboo, keep this bamboo growing up here, and a little bit more of it there. And you can see how I'm just going to lift off some of this white glue so that you can see the end results there. And I've got a little bit more bamboo. I'm just going to pop there, just get you in a little bit of glue there, growing up there. And there we go. So we've created another little story, a great card for a little boy. And don't forget you've got the alphabets to work with as well. So until next time, and I'm sure we'll do loads more, massive thank you to the lovely Jane and to all of you for joining me. Thank you, everybody.